guys, welcome to another edition of the Rough Tackle podcast, the only podcast that delves deep into the Ghana Premier League because there's something big coming in a match day 9 and we are all very excited. My name is Mutala. I'm here with Delali and Mandela. But before we get into match day 9, let's do a quick review of match day 8 and what actually happened. I'll start with you, Delali. Your team were in action. Bechem United actually drew with Nations FC, goalless, and that game ended the reign of Isabotwe at Bechem.
Well, I think our resource maybe, but as for Isabotwe, he was struggling. He was basically struggling to get goal resource. So in as much as I think he drew with Nations FC, it was a game that on any day was going to be tough. In as much as Bechem have had good resource and against Nations in recent times, I don't think that's the reason why they sacked the coach. Like it was coming. You know what I mean? It was coming.
Charlie, I was at Bechem. You see how the fans vex. So when I was doing the post-match interview, he was like, you can see what is happening here. The fans are not happy. And they told the owner of the club, Agama, the president of the club, that they want this man gone by the close of day. So I wasn't surprised to see that.
I think Bechem have had an on and off season ever since Kasim Mingo left. I think they've not recovered from him. But also I think their recent appointment is a solid one. Coach Emisa is a solid guy. The league kind of well, he knows the domestic football kind of well, but I don't think their resource against Nations is the reason why they signed.
Well, that game ended goalless, but on Saturday, Hoho United against Mediama ended 1-1. Yep. Mediama showing why they are such a superb side in the Ghana Premier League this season, failing to go down against Hoho.
I mean, I'll touch on that, but let me quickly talk about Bechem and Nations. I don't think Delali actually expected them to win that game because since they're in the league, they've not actually beaten Bechem.
Yeah.
I think 2 draws and they only scored once there. So I think it was expected. But for Isabotwe, yes, 8 games, only 1 win in there. I think, yes, it was coming because Bechem have been very poor this season, all of that. So now moving on to the Saturday game, I think last week I told you that, Mediama, I actually tipped Mediama to win that game. But I actually think they could have won that if not for that fantastic display by, the Ohoi goalkeeper, Kweku Musa. That guy denied Prince Owusu multiple times. I was like, what is he doing? Because he strikes, he saves, doubles, he countless times. So I think on the day, Mediama could have actually won, but due to the brilliance of Kweku Musa, then that game ended draw.
Well, then we had Asante Kotoko. Before that, Heartfoka had beaten Baseke Holy Stars because that game started 30 minutes earlier than the Kotoko one. But what a beautiful response from Asante Kotoko to give their fans hope that Charlie, but we are back home and we want to show that no Albert Amwa, no problem. Hubejewu, the star man of the I think they needed,
and it's not even really about the person who scored the goals. It's about how they managed to get the goals. Because I've always said Kotoko needed to find the goals. They needed to find a way to score the goals because the team had only 2 strikers, or let's say 3 strikers. 2 had problems. Kwame Poku was injured. The other foreigner, the coach has even complained that the guy doesn't even understand what he's
of course.
So
it's only natural. He's not English. Yes. So.
The only striker they had in their mix was Albert.
And he also left here.
So you could clearly tell that they needed to find a way to score their goals. And the only way they could prove it was their first game without him. And I think it's not really about the kind of goals, it's about the pattern and how they score the goals. Go wide, cut back, find the midfielders. Because I've always said, Kotoko needs to find a way to score. It's not like they are going to sign a new striker. Yeah. So they need to get a way to score. That means that the midfielders now have to take the goal scoring responsibilities. And that can only happen when you play to suit the midfielders. And I think that's what they are doing now. Finding a way to get the ball into the second rounds of the midfielders. They arrive in the box elite and just go the goal score.
Mandela, what even gave the fans hope was the kind of football they displayed. It was like flawless victory. They don't make Karela breathe safe. Perfect, like 5-star performance.
And I think it was the perfect response because I listened to your pre-match interview with Karim Zito and he was talking about the fact that they needed to win to appease the fans because after what happened to work, that was very symbolic. So they need that response to actually appease the fans, especially going to the Super Cup this weekend. So they needed that win. And the manner in which the win came was very, very key as well to them. Look at those goals. Those goals ginger fans actually come to the stadium and then because they know they have something to look forward to. So I think it was a very good win for them. And the good thing about that is that before last weekend, they had only scored 3 goals in the league. And then they come into the week, they score 4. That was one more than they had scored in all their 4 matches before. And there's been a lot of talk. I mean, I know we're going to the Super Cup conversation, but there's been a lot of talk about Asofuk and they are unbeaten and then they are clean sheets and all of that. But before Karela on Sunday, because they are not considering the league.
Yeah.
That was the first time they are considering the league. So I think that was a good performance for them and a brilliant response going into the Super Clash.
Of course. And you know that Hatterfolk also had the win against Basake Holy Stars. The likes of Dreams FC also picked up their first win in the Ghana Premier League. So results for match day 8 done and dusted. Let's move on to match day 9. Big fixtures. The Super Clash will be our main conversation. But let's start with the Friday games. I mean, your team will be playing Nations FC back home. Frimpong Manso looking for his first win against a Hoho United side who are under pressure because Tijani isn't winning games.
Yeah, I think for Frimpong Manso, this will be his first game in front of the home fans. Fortunately, unfortunately, his first game, he had to walk in. I think he even said that he trained with the players for 2 days. He had to go and play in a very tough opponent against the Bechim, but he managed to get a good result. So he has the confidence. It's more like the fans feel like, okay, this one he can do something because he went to a grounds where the team was used to losing and he got a good result. So now he's coming to play his first proper game where he has been in charge. He has trained the players the entire week. He's ready to play his first game. And I think for Frimpong Manso himself, this is the first time he's going to play in front of the home fans. And fortunately for him, he's not coming against a tougher no disrespect to Hohoi, but he's not coming against an already tried and tested Premier League team, you know. It's a new promoted side. He can manage a way, use a bit of experience, and get a good result.
Charlie, with what I saw from Nations against Bichim and the way Charlie, I don't know how Hoho United would survive this one. It's going to be a very difficult game for them.
Yes, I actually think so, especially on the road or so. But for Frimpong Manso, I think this particular game he needs to win. I mean, the game against Bichim, we was talking about the fact that them getting the points is okay because that is his first game. His first game, he hadn't gotten enough time with the boys to train with the boys and all that. So against Hoho United, they need to win at all costs. And Emmanuel, a fantastic player, even against Bichim United, he saw his exploits in the game. Yes, he saw his exploits in the game and all of that. So I think for Arno, he needs that. Output. It keeps him. It keeps him going, and it keeps the momentum going for the team as well. So if he's not scoring, then the team has challenges. So I think yes, he needs that goal, and then to actually keep the momentum going for them.
We are all talking about Asante Kotoko, but Mediema, Adriana.
Yeah.
Okay, Adriana Mediema because Adriana has the win side. It's another Titanic game to look forward to. First against second, Adriana are leading the table. Mediema are second. What a game!
Mutala. You know, for me personally, in terms of history, pedigree, whatever, yes, the Super Clash is the bigger game. But this season, based on performance, league positions and all of that, this is the first against the second place team. I actually think this game is the bigger game on Sunday. I actually think
I know Adriana are very strong at home.
Yeah.
They've proven that this season. But Charlie Mediema, some way, somehow, Charlie, before you go be there, you go suffer.
No, even before the season, I don't know if the first podcast I told you that Mediema are the title. They may not win the league, but they are kingmakers.
Yeah, they're actually title contenders.
They are title contenders because they had a coach who has always been in the mix. Ibrahim Tanko
He finished second with Accra Lions, if you remember that one. Yeah.
And then he went to Mediema. He has played with them for the first season. Another thing that they did was the fact that they managed to keep their players. Mediema always needed one push to always be a title contender because it's an environment where Moses Parker is willing to spend money.
Yeah.
He's willing to give you the free hands to do your job.
They have one of the best stadiums.
Exactly.
At
So
the moment.
at this point, he has one of the best stadiums. And he's somebody who is ready to give you everything you need to excel. Tanko is that kind of manager that he needs that environment, that be setting of environment to excel. Oh no, yeah, like he need. When I mean that, I like everything has to be aligned for him.
Convenience,
and he will deliver for you.
So you know they want environment where players
Make
are
you know, like,
dictating that salaries are
no
going.
stress.
That is why they are not playing
Good.
well.
Give him-
Everything has to be there for Tanko to deliver.
Yes, an ideal situation. He's one of the go-to managers you should go at. And so I always knew that he will always compete. Maybe what may prevent him from winning maybe just sport in the last touch, the drama bit of the league. That's what maybe he may not have it. If he gets it, he may win the league with with Mediama, which I'm praying he will not find it. But I'm praying
and for them, it's not even about the results. The kind of football they play is beautiful on the high.
Well, as for Tanko's team, as for Tanko's team,
because if you look at that midfield, Prince Owusu,
they have two Owusu.
Prince Owusu, Emmanuel Owusu, and then Abdul Salam giving you the goals in the bro. If you want their game, very good on the high.
You're all waxing lyrical about Mediama. But Ediana have been moving slowly. And they might talk about them, but Atapoku and his boys are doing the
They started the season.
Chioba Aristika.
Yes, they started the season calmly, but they had one of the best transfer windows.
They recruited well.
Yes.
So it wasn't the usual Ediana bringing old men. 35 years, or league in 15 years.
You could realize that they I don't want to say they got rid of, like, a lot of players left, and they brought in players that understands the league and have tried and tested. They have a right back, a former Dreams FC captain, Samuel Maxwellata, playing as their right back. That guy has played the Premier League. Maybe
he's the reason why Sam Adams is on the bench.
That guy has played the Premier League more than 5 years. Because from the time I left Dreams till now, I went to 5 years, and he was there before I went. He was a captain of Dreams FC. Imagine. Yeah. So he's one of the experienced, and that's what Mediama is doing. So I watched their team. You may not give them, you may think, okay, this is like a normal Mediama, but Adriana, but forget. If they catch you, then go give you.
Well, this is a game fixed for Saturday at 3:30, and it will be live on TV3 and Onuya TV. Now to the big one, the Super Clash. Who do I start with? I mean, I had to focus on Asante Kotoko. 2 unbeaten clubs coming into this one on the back of victories in their last game. Managers very confident, but had to think they have a slight advantage over Kotoko because the last meeting in the Gal Cut-Off for
they won by 2-0.
They won 2-0. So Omofo says still they can beat Kotoko. Asante Kotoko also believes that this is the time we will show these guys that Charlie a background, we can do something at the Accra Sports Stadium. Has Kotoko, where does the pendulum swing to?
Mutala, I think this game is very difficult to call, especially if you look at their numbers this season. Us have scored 8 in 8. Kotoko have scored only 7 they scored 7 in 5. So on paper, they have the better goal per game ratio, than us. I think our 1.42, us is, 1 goal per game and all of that. Us have considered 3, I believe, and Kotoko have also considered, 2, or just 2 in there, but they play lesser games in there. So on paper, the numbers are similar, even though, yes, Kotoko have a slight advantage of them, but on the field, and as people always say, when it comes to the Super Clash, it's not about form. It's not about who is the better team now. It's about what happens on the day and on the ground. So, Mutala, I've watched both us and Kotoko this season. I actually think this game is headed for a draw. I see goals in there.
You know, Samba O'Neill missed the last game because he had accumulation of yellow cards. He's back. But Ablo will be missing. So it means that we are going to have a partnership for the first time this season between Samba O'Neill and Henry Ansu, which has not been tested that much. Right. And I'm hearing Ali Mohammed might be back for Hartlepool as well. Where does this one go?
Where does it go? I think you one of your producers interviewed one man on the street who said, "Bibia bet Messi."
I'm draw too much. Kotoko has paid draw, but Bibia bet Messi.
And I think
anytime we are hyped up for this game,
it's because and it was coming to what I was going to say. It's because both teams don't go into the competition with a top striker. Because if you look at this game, yes, you see, people may, if you look at Kotoko stats, as Mandela mentioned, you may think they've been scoring a lot, but they just scored 4 in one match. Changed everything. Kotoko is not a scoring team. This season, they've not been scoring. One man was just leading and helping them to score goals. That's why they play lesser game. And then, House of Folk, they've agreed we are not scoring FC.
But they have a scoring problem.
Yes, we are not scoring.
But Frank Duku got a goal. I think Hamza also got a goal.
Hamza.
So, but if you look, that game they managed to score goals. It's like Kotoko, Jewu showing up. That kind of goals. It's not a kind of goal that you can be scoring week in, week out. It shows up, you do it. You have it in your adrenaline.
Well, Jewu says he can do that every week.
He can. He has the technique, but then kind of goals. He scored. Even Michael Essien scored once in his entire career. Such a goal. So, but what I'm just trying to say is that look at the pattern of play of both teams. Kotoko, are they creating then kind of chances in the games they play? Obviously not. So that was what I was coming. Assuming they had another game to play where they can test that style, where the second strikers, the midfielders arrive late. Because if you see the goals they scored, the wingers go in, cut back, second strikers arrive.
And no, I'm sorry, not to cut you. that kind of goals is actually one thing that, I mean, BBN actually proved that Aso Folk lack. Because both goals Samuel Asakumi scored against us in Accra, similar style.
Exactly.
They go back in, they cut back and then it's happening. So if Kotoko are going to rely on that, I actually think it's going to be a field day for them.
But who are the players who could make a huge impact in this game? Benjamin Asari, a lot of talks
Obviously,
around him
he's the
after
guy.
that mistake that he made against Barcelona Stars, and also conceding 2 goals against Gold Stars,
obviously
and also Hubert Jewu. Who would have the most impact? I mean, I'm looking at Hubert and Hussein for midfield.
Yeah, Hussein Mohamed,
Yeah. I think that'll be solid midfield. House of Folk also has a very good midfield. Unfortunately, Karim, but I understand he's fit. I understand he may play. So Kotoko were coming to face one.
He brings a lot of stability to
exactly. Kotoko were coming to face. Kotoko were also coming to face one of the best midfielders in the Premier League now, because House of Folk's strength has always been in their midfield. Yeah. So it was midfield battle versus midfield. This game is not really about the strikers, but fortunately for House of Folk, exactly. But fortunately for House of Folk, they have a good goalkeeper who is tried and tested with experience. As for the one in Kotoko pod,
Kamara.
He's good, but you don't know the kind of Kamara that will show up on the day. He's a very good goalkeeper on any day. But sometimes you don't know the kind of player that's going to show up, and that's my problem. So, away from that, in terms of the performance on the pitch, I think it swings slightly in favor of House of Folk, because one, they are playing at home. They are a bit more relaxed because there's less pressure on them. Kotoko have a bit of pressure because of their work performance. They're still not recovered from it. House of Folk are a bit more relaxed and they are playing at home. Yeah, Kotoko will say anytime they come to Kumasi, they are comfortable. But this is a game that may look like a draw, because Obia and Shedan Shegu,
in terms of defensive solidity, both of them have it. But Kotoko are missing Ablo. He has partnered Samba O'Neil for some time now. Now it's Samba and Henry Ansu, who played lots of games last season. But this is the first time they will be properly tested by a good team, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, and I think going to the game, it will be a disadvantage for them, really. But I'm surprised Delali is saying that because us are playing home, and the game swings in their favor a bit. Bro,
no, not really.
But because if you look at us,
really
they've only won one game at home, even though they are unbeaten. They've only won once.
Let me.
4 matches, 3 draws.
In their favor, not because they are playing at home.
Okay.
The other factors are, one,
the fans factor.
They're not really the fans, because they really don't really come.
Kotoko fans, if they can, that's why they're supposed to tell the promoters to check out. Once you look at the porcupine stand, the number of people there,
it be their fans.
Sometimes they even outnumber the Heart-of-Folk fans.
The House fans, they come. The Kotoko fans go plenty past them, but it swings because, one, House of Folk has less pressure on them. Kotoko has a bit of pressure because they went to the Confederations Cup and it was bad. They are in a hurry to please the fans. Kotoko, House of Folk have a bit of stability in their team, because if Karim returns, Ablo returns, they have one of the best goalkeepers in the domestic scene. That means that they are safe in terms of defensive solidity. Midfield, they have one of the best. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, on the other hand, are now putting their team together, because their style of play with Amwa was find the striker and score. Now they need to find a different approach of scoring goal, which is go up, don't play through the striker, cut back, let the wing backs or the wingers end the game. That style, they are now trying it. House of Folk knows how they will play already. They know they don't have good goal scorers up front, so they find the goals through the midfield. They are a bit more stable as compared to House of Folk. That's what I'm saying.
Well, one other area that people are saying Kotoko could take advantage of is the right-hand side of Heart of Folk, where you have Yaman Kwabefi. He's not a natural right back. He's a makeshift right back. He likes to bump forward. Peter Akwamidu is a speedster. Can you really take advantage of that?
Yeah, I think he's actually going to feed on that. And I'm very much worried for the House of Folk fullbacks. Ransford Mason on the left back. We saw him against...
But we watch Ransford, bro. It'd be like you that get some personal score to settle.
If you watch the Gold Stars game, bro, Charlie.
He's the weak link in the Heart of Folk team.
Then Cook comes serious, bro. So if you look at the fullbacks, I have a challenge in there. And like Delali was saying, I think that if Asante Kotoko can capitalize on that same style, playing through the flanks, cutting back, getting the ball to a striker, or even if Ubejo can just be behind the 18 line, I mean the box, right, that arc area there, if you can feed on those balls, those second balls.
One thing that I know how to do, they will try to take Ubejo out of the game.
Okay.
Because they know it looks like their main source of goals. Kotoko's main source of goals.
Yeah.
So if you put a man on Hubeje, then
And maybe,
But then again, if you put a man on him, you might be a man short. But then Kotoko might also find other players or other areas to exploit.
Well, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Predict the scoreline for that game.
I already said 2-2 though. I'm actually surprised,
It'll
be a draw.
Yeah, I think it'll be a
But
draw.
It will favor Nations FC.
I might have no goal there.
Okay,
but you know the funny thing, in the Super League, right? I think since 2014, we've only had 4 goalless draws. So always there's a goal in there. Yes, it might end in a draw, but always there's a goal in there.
Well, let's see what happens. And that game would also be live on TV3 and on your TV. So 3 live games this weekend in match day 9. We start on Friday where Nations will be playing Ho United. Then on Saturday, a big one at the Nanajima Bedu Park. Adriana also coming up against Mediama. Then we finish off our coverage at the Accra Sports Stadium. You can't afford to miss that game. It's at 4 p.m. and it will be live and exclusive only on TV3 and on your TV. My name is Mutala Yakubu. Thanks to Delali and thanks to Mandela. And for those of you who can't watch the game live on TV, just log on to adisaplus.com and enjoy every moment from the Super Class. See you on Sunday.